I'm Chuck Dick, the co-chair of programming for CalArb, and today it's my privilege of conducting another in our series called California Conversations. We have this series to provide members of CalArb with a little exposure and opportunity to introduce themselves to the larger arbitration community. And I'm delighted today to have a special guest, a person with whom our programming committee has been working now for well over a year. And I finally prevailed upon him to make himself available for this interview. And so I welcome Samir Shah, who has recently migrated to the United States from India. One of the first things he did when he came to the United States was become a member of CalArb. And so we'll talk a little bit about that decision. But welcome, Samir. We're delighted to have you be a participant in California Conversations and looking forward to this chat today.
Thank you, Charles. In fact, it's really a privilege and an honor for me to be there today on this channel. And thank you to you and CalArb for giving me this opportunity to introduce myself and to work more closely with the disputes community in the US.
Well, I'd like to begin really by asking you to share with us a bit about your educational background in India and perhaps leading up to your legal education. If you can amplify a little bit on that and tell us about how that works in India.
Sure. Yeah, that's an interesting part because, the education system is quite different in a way. So far as even the legal education is concerned, it's so I started the education career right from the schooling in way back in 1976, passed out in 1988, and then started my bachelor's in business and economics, and then went on to do law. So that was the process at that point of time in early 1980s, where law was a post-bachelor course of 3 years. Yeah. So I passed that 3 years of law degree, which is a traditional process. It is still going on in India. However, when I just graduated from law school in 1994, things really changed for the legal education in India. We came up with the first National Law University Act, which started a revolution kind of thing in the legal education, because then it became a 5 years intensive course whereby a person just after the main high school graduation could join the law course along with a bachelor's degree. So earlier they used to spend 6 years, a bachelor of 3 years and a law degree for 3 years. So now after this new system which came in, you save 1 year of your career, and which can help you build up into the internships and practical trainings. So having said that, so I graduated from law school in 1994 and worked with one of the renowned solicitors firm, which was of course owned by my uncle. So started my career in a solicitor's firm, gained the knowledge of both litigation and transactional practice consultancy. And after 10 years of putting that, I started my own law firm in 2004, and which is, of course, running even now. In spite of my transition here, I'm still operating my law firm in India. But my earlier education, and of course, my solicitor's firm's practice helped me a lot to build up my firm's practice into both litigation and non-litigation. Across India and many other foreign jurisdictions. Then during the course of this, I would say in late 2000, early 2000, I would say, I came in to connect with CIArb, which was not that much prevalent in India at that point of time. I'm talking of 2009. So that interested me. So basically arbitration, which was prevalent or gaining, footage in India, and which caught my eye to expand into a different field rather than the traditional full service law firm practice. So that caught my eye, and fortunately, I was made the one of the directors of the Chartered Institute of Arbitrators India branch, which I am still continuing. So right from 2011 till date, I am one of the directors, and of course, prime person to organize trainings. I am a approved faculty. I do trainings promoting ADR and arbitration, especially across India. And my personal focus have been to connect with students. That's because I have seen myself, I have experienced myself that, during the course of my education, we have not been given these kind of trainings and exposure to international arbitration. So that caught my eye, and I made it like a motto of giving back to the society. And therefore, right now, since last almost a decade, I'm focusing on promoting ADR with the students and young professionals. So I do coaching in personal level, one-to-one mentorships, training, promoting, organizing events, webinars, and so on and so forth. It has been a long, long journey through arbitration. And so, as I said, of last 10 years, my focus has shifted to dispute resolution. Of course, my law firm is still there. It's operating on both as a full service law firm, but my personal focus have been on dispute resolution. And that, in fact, also made me come here. When I came, the first thing I did was to connect with the disputes committee here. And of course, CIArb came first in that. So I joined as a member here, and it has been a wonderful experience. You all have been so supportive. And so that's how, I wanted to take this further of my journey in the US, my transition here. So I think that's in brief my journey or educational background.
That's a fascinating life story, Samir. As a fellow myself of the Chartered Institute of Arbitrators, I'm interested in having you tell a little bit more, maybe, about the
Yeah.
operations of the institute
Mhm.
in India today, and what is the role that you're playing in that.
Well, as I said, I am a continuing director on the board of CIArb India, and also, one of the main person for organizing the trainings and programs. So we have a board consisting of 11 directors, and we have our subcommittees now taking care of marketing, promotion, trainings, student coordination, and all. So we have subcommittees going on. But as I said, initially there was not much of the what do you call acceptance or knowledge within the community, legal committee about arbitration and CIR. So it took us almost 10 years to promote CIR and the trainings programs. And India is a big, big country like US, spread across different regions with different dialects, different culture, different system and mentality. So it's very difficult to promote CIR. But yeah, we have been successful. Now we have a very robust training programs continuing, and we have a good membership as well. Though compared to the population, it is nothing as such, but we are trying our best, and we are now gaining footage so far as CIAB in India is concerned.
What types of training programs is the institute offering in India?
All what CIAB offers across, I mean, right from the associate to fellow.
Well, that's fascinating. You started to tell us a little bit about your migration to the United States, and I'd
Mhm.
be interested in having you share with us what your thought processes were and how did that come about and why.
Honestly, before I came here, I did had connects here, working along with attorneys and mediators and arbitrators. So when this chance of opportunity of migrating to United States as a permanent resident came, I was looking to a very interesting and bright career prospect here. But honestly speaking, when now it's been I think 8 months now. We came in January this year to US, but it's still taking me time to settle down. A couple of reasons for that. I think, personally speaking, age does matter during this course of a transition. If I had been come here at the younger age of 2025, the risk-taking capacity would have been different than what I am at right now. Second aspect, which I realize is that, of course, you need to have a license to practice here, which is not that strict in India in the sense that you have to be a member of the bar. So during our time, there was no such exam of bar to be taken by the lawyers in India. Once you pass law graduation, you become member of your respective state bar council, and that's it. There was no such issue of licenses as such. Of late, yes, things have become different. Now you have to pass a bar exam, so things are changing. But here in US, so far, it is much more stricter. And for me, what I found is that, if I have to get a license here, I need to have the LLM from an accredited institution and then sit for the bar and pass the bar, which might take off 2 years from my time. And then even after that, I am not sure of how well that is gonna help me out. But yes, I am not saying no to this. But yes, this had been a little, I would say, a sort of difficult transition. But I'm working on it. I'm happy that I'm here. There are many other avenues which I am exploring apart from this. But yes, I am happy.
Well, all of us can remember the horrors of the bar examination and the sleepless nights wondering how well one really did in that exam. So it's even though it may have been many years ago for several members of CalArb, I can guarantee you that it's a memory that is indelibly etched in everybody's mind. So we're really empathetic with what you're experiencing here. But you have had contacts in the United States, and you've come to Virginia at the present time,
Mhm.
uh, and you're continuing with the development of a reputation in the field of international commercial arbitration. And I wonder if you might just share with particularly some of our younger listeners your experiences and how one goes about trying to build a reputation of prominence within the international commercial arbitration arena.
Well, that's very interesting question, Charles. I mean, of course, it's not that easy a path to, develop your career in international commercial arbitration. But it's not also not impossible. There is a big opportunity there for all who are interested. The thing is how you strategize your positioning, right from your education to your accreditation, your trainings, and experience. That matters. So, what I would suggest to the young, professionals who are interested to develop into their career into international arbitration, uh, of course, you need experience. But what I've seen in the international arbitration is that, to an extent, accreditation also matters. Trainings are a very important aspect. But most out of this, I think the main important thing is networking. Without networking, nothing works. Even in spite of that, you would be the best of the intellect. But if you don't network, uh, you are just there where you are. So either you just be contented where you are, but if you really want to grow, you have to network. And there are so many opportunities, platforms to network. LinkedIn, to be honest, LinkedIn has helped me to such a large extent to build up my footage into international commercial arbitration. It's a wonderful platform, but the only thing is it's up to you how you use it. So that gives it that's so apart from that, of course, attending conferences, interacting with people and mentors, uh, that's the way how you do it about. And this is, the question which you said is exactly what every participant used to pose me when I had completed the trainings in CIR. Yeah. So they would say, now what for me? So I used to advise them that, you see, whether your university or college guarantee you employment, the answer is no. But your university gives you that platform to network, to showcase your talent, your intellect. That's exactly what CIArb is doing. CIArb is giving you that international accreditation, which you can showcase that now you are that trained, qualified, experienced arbitrator, arbitration practitioner to the world across. So that's how you do it. No one guarantees you employment, no course or accreditation. No one would do that. But that these kind of trainings gives you that platform to network on. I think, and today's youth, I don't think so. They need advice on networking. They are constantly online, and things have changed. When we used to be there, uh, running around, attending, meeting people, conferences, but now things have changed. Everything has become online, and they are fast catching up with it. They are more conversant than us, I would say, in the online community. So and it's very helpful. I have gained, of course, in my own experience. I also gained from the online community a lot for developing the career.
You mentioned you have used social media, and
Mhm.
perhaps you could share with us a bit more specifically how you have used platforms such as LinkedIn to your advantage.
Yeah, so before I do that, I think one, I would say a caution is we all know the perils of social media. So be very cautious what you are saying or posting on social media. You be truthful. I have seen people, they just boast about what they are not, but they just want to show that this is what they are. So don't do that. Be truthful, be honest. Whatever you do, whatever is there, but be very truthful in social media. That's, I think, the key to network. So far as how to use this platform, I think the best way is to start posting on whatever group you are into pertaining to that subject. Don't just start boasting what you have done. I've seen people just day in, day out, they say that I win this case, I have done this, I have. That's fine. That is, of course, what LinkedIn is all about. That's how you showcase. But more than that, if you are really want to catch eyes of, experts, someone whom you want to share or whom you want to follow, then the best is showcase your talent, your intellect. And how you do that? By posting interesting articles, interesting thoughts, participating in different posts which are there, which interest, and where you could also reply with your thoughts, which will showcase your intellect to the people around. Apart
So
from doing your
that-
regular posting,
hmm.
that's fine. But I think more than that, it should showcase your intellect.
This is really sage advice, and I underscore your comments about being truthful. Resume inflation is not a new thing, but it's that the temptation is real, particularly for younger people who are trying to get their foot in the door and suggest that they've really accomplished more than they really have. And you're underscoring the value of speaking truthfully. But while we're on this whole general question of training, uh, you and the programming committee of CalArb first got introduced because of your development of a global training exercise, and I'd like to shift gears maybe and have you share with us a little bit about what it is you're doing on a global level to train people in commercial arbitration and how people from CalArb might get involved.
Oh, thank you, Charles, for posing that. I'm really passionate about this, and thank you for asking me about and sharing my thoughts on it. So, what I have done during the COVID time, uh, I have been a very I would say, I have been going to the WIS moot. I think that's the one of the major competition in international commercial arbitration for the students to learn the nuances of international commercial arbitration. So I have been a star arbitrator for the WIS East almost 12 years now. And because of my association there, I thought of starting something on a bigger level. And therefore, during the COVID, when everything was shut, people were just the online was the only mode of in remaining in communication. I, along with five other like-minded professionals, we started the Asia Pacific pre-moot to the WIS. So 2022 was our first event which happened, and we got 120 teams registered across the globe for that pre-moot, which is a big, big achievement for the first time. And mind you, everything was on Zoom. And each of these sessions, so it ran around for 5 days, qualifying rounds, quarterfinals, semi-final, and final. Everything happened on Zoom. We didn't had any truncated tribunal. So each of the round, right from the qualifying till finals have five, but each of the rounds till semi-final have three arbitrators every time. So you can imagine 120 teams participating, and then each session having two teams with three arbitrators. What number of arbitrators we could have connected, the community. And I really thank the whole community across the globe for supporting us. Of course, it wouldn't have been possible because we have been, I mean, myself and the other who are there on the core committee with our personal one-to-one relations, we could manage that. But it's still, I'm really thankful for the community to helping us doing that. This year also, we continued with that. But let me tell you something very interesting about this pre-moot. You see, we were the first such pre-moot which came with the concept of inclusivity. You must have heard about diversity. There's such a big debate going on, discussion going on about diversity. But I think diversity still remains gender specific to a larger extent. Therefore, we tried to make it a bigger concept, and that's why we came with the concept of inclusivity. More focused, the main purpose was to bring differently abled people who are still talented into the mainstream dispute community. That was the motto. And with that, we designed our website. And mind you, this website, everything was done by the students. I had a robust team of 50 plus students working as a volunteer, no money involved, no remuneration. They just came because of the passion, because of my connect with them, and their interest into international commercial arbitration. So they themselves, I just helped them out with the logo, the basic outline and everything. Everything was done by the students, the whole team of students. So this website was also developed in a way that any differently able person, be it a blind, be it a deaf or a dumb, he or she can access this website. Secondly, during the whole course of the event, we had a sign language expert on standby if somebody needs him. If there's a student or the person or the team who needs their help, he was there on standby. Both in the opening and the closing ceremony, the sign language expert was there to run through the whole ceremony. So this became with this new concept of inclusion, and thankfully, and we are really honored that later on ICC has now come, of course, with the same, and they have in fact made up a committee for that. And one of the members of that committee, of course, is part of a core committee, Professor Rajesh Sharma. He's a professor in RMIT Melbourne. And I have been knowing him. I mean, we are a long association since Wismoot in Hong Kong. So we came with this unique concept of inclusivity. And we didn't want it to just make this as just a pre-moot 5 days and then you forget about it. It's an continuing educational platform. So we have, resources there on the website. If the student need to go through, different kind of judgments, books, everything is there on the website. So it's a continuing educational platform. It's just not for the moot. It doesn't end with the moot. It's a continuous platform. So this year also we continued. We had 90 plus team registered because things have changed. People were looking for in-person things. We're fed up with just online. So there's a little bit of downfall. So our teams are coming, but we again had run a very successful event. Next year, we are coming with something much bigger. I am not supposed to disclose because it will happen in just 2 weeks' time. You will all get the news what we are going to do, but I'm just telling you it will be much bigger, a real global event.
You have been a prominent figure in organizing the alternative dispute resolution bar in India.
Yeah.
And the fact that you have, figuratively speaking, one foot in India and one foot in the United States makes you a very unique individual. But I would like to have you share with us what's going on in India. What are you doing to develop and expand the ADR practice in your home country?
Again, a very interesting project, Charles. A very unique bar, which I was thinking of almost 5 years. So this bar is specifically for ADR professionals. It is not lawyer centric, unlike the usual bars across. So I have a core committee within this. Of course, I am the main founder, along with a very dear friend of mine, who's a very renowned mediator, Mr. E.O. Mandis. So we have created this ADR bar, and it's a registered trust uh, for the sake of entity, just to give a formal, shape to it. Now, this has a core committee which consists of lawyers, arbitrators, mediators, insurance expert, business representatives, industry representation, damage controllers, damage analysts, chartered accountants, companies. In the sense, all those experts who are in any way contribute to ADR in their respective role are there, the who's who of these experts as a core committee. And then, as I said, India being such a big country, so I have divided this bar into 4 regions. Apart from the core committee, then comes the regional uh, heads. And in each region, north, east, west, and south, there are two verticals running parallelly, one for arbitration, one for mediation, each headed by an expert regional person. And I've seen to it that there is a balance of diversity, inclusivity, and I'm promoting the younger people to be there on board because they are the future. You see, we will be gone in, let's say, in another 10 years, but then I am making this platform for them to showcase, to take it forward in much bigger way. So this is how the regional committees are there. And then I have a very robust student membership. Ultimately, as I said, I am focused on student development to bring them to change their mindset towards conflict in general. You see, we come from a very traditional understanding of lawyerism or advocacy. Means just go to court, argue your client's case, and win. That's what the thought process we are still into. But when you say that you are an ADR practitioner, you have to have a very different mindset. So I am trying to do that to change their mindset to view conflict in a much more holistic way. No matter even if you're a lawyer or an attorney, you have to have that holistic approach so that we can be helpful as a community to gain peace in this world. That's the motto. So I am focusing on a very robust student membership of this bar. And mind you, because of this, I have made this membership, totally free. I'm not charging anything. There's no financial thing. It's all from my own thing. I have started this. No membership fee, nothing. But the amount of knowledge, the networking they will get is immense. So we have the website. Again, this website was developed by students. And of course, I just advise them on the logo part and all those things. But again, all developed by students, run by the students. I'm just guiding them.
You are leaving an imprint on the next generation, Samir, and we are delighted to have a person of your caliber among us in CalArb. Even though you came to the United States and initially have found your way to Virginia, you decided to become a member of California arbitration. And I'd love to have you share with us why you did that and what role CalArb can play in here in the United States in expanding the whole future of international commercial arbitration.
Well, as I said, Charles, I wanted to continue my foray into disputes, even though I transitioned from India to US. And I think when I read about Keller, and of course, I'm really, really, again, I'm saying I'm really thankful to you and people on board who supported me and given me this opportunity. Though I was just a newbie to the to CalArb as such, but still the amount of support and help which I have got is truly immense. I mean, I'm really thankful for that. So the concept of what CalArb is talking about really, is in consonance what I wanted to do, and that's what interested me to be part of CARE. Though I was already part of ABA, which of course is on a much larger scale, but still, CalArb, I thought that CalArb, and I'm sure CalArb would be able to give me, on a personal note, this kind of an opportunity to contribute more to the dispute community across the United States. Coming to your next question of what CalArb, I think if you can correct me, uh, what CalArb, I don't know, but if it's not, then CalArb may also focus on trainings apart from just being an association and networking platform. But I think if we focus as an association on trainings, as I have been doing, to for the upcoming, the young generation or whosoever needs, I mean, you need, see, learning is a continuous process. Throughout the life you learn, so it's not just for the young, but whosoever interested to develop a career in international arbitration. I think CalArb can play a very, very big role in, honestly, for these two projects. I will be definitely proposing to the board of CalArb to join us in this, ADR bar and this global event which I'm will be doing on a much larger scale, which will also help CalArb to expand overseas. I think let's not focus on the region. Let's go beyond the borders, and there is a huge scope, huge opportunity, especially if you must be aware of what is happening in the US India business relations. It has grown much bigger scale, and I think that's lies the opportunity for us in the dispute community to march with them on this platform.
Well, Samir Shah, it has been a real privilege to share some time with you today and to hear a little bit about your background and experiences, which are unique. CalArb is committed, as are you, committed to training the next generation. We've been fortunate, both as an organization, to collaborate with a number of the higher educational institutions in California and their law school training programs, but as well, there are a good number of CalArb members who are themselves involved in programs like the Viz Mood, for example. And so we share that in common, and we're delighted to have had you share a little bit of yourself and your story with the members of CalArb and the larger arbitration community today. Best wishes to you, Samir. Thanks very much for taking the time to be with us today and to participating in California Conversations.
Thank you, Charles. It's really an honor, and I'm really looking forward to work on a much bigger way with CalArb, and of course to do something together on a much larger scale. And I'm really thankful to you and the board to help me and support me on this mission. Thank you so much.
You're most welcome. You take care now.
You too. Bye.